At the state capitol today, legislative leaders meeting again to finalize their budget bills for a special session. But one of those bills is raising some concern among some autism centers, and providers say proposed requirements could put them out of business. Danny Spiewak joins us now live at the Capitol with a closer look at this issue. Danny?
Well, one of the last bills that lawmakers are still working to finalize here at the Capitol is the Human Services Bill. And inside that bill, there is language proposed that would add more oversight and supervision requirements for autism centers across the state of Minnesota. But providers say while this may be well-intentioned, they warn it could put smaller ones out of business because of the requirements needed to keep up. As lawmakers work toward a special session, few bills are more critical to the budget than human services.
It affects the most vulnerable people in our state.
That includes kids with autism.
I got 3 kiddos, one of whom is on the spectrum.
Nikki Hansen is also a qualified supervising professional, or QSP, who works at multiple autism centers in Minnesota.
I know I'm going to have to pull back.
She's concerned about language drafted in the Human Services Bill, requiring more hours of clinical supervision and in-person visits to observe staff working with kids, among other changes.
I get what they're going for, and everybody can improve. It just doesn't work. The hours, it's impossible.
The Autism Treatment Association of Minnesota and others in the field, like consultant Jennifer Miller, warn that the requirements will overwhelm smaller providers who are already dealing with staffing shortages.
I'm worried that probably hundreds of providers will go out of business. Hundreds.
But lawmakers who wrote the provision, including DFL Representative Kim Hicks and Republican Senator Jim Abler, argue that the state's recent licensing of behavioral analysts will help smaller providers meet the new oversight requirements.
And so now they have another option. So I don't think that they're at risk. That's our belief, that there's enough staff to do that.
The bill would also require that supervisors be employees of the autism centers and not independent contractors.
The problem before is there would be people doing the observations and the supervision by Zoom, living in Florida, never even meeting the person that they were responsible to oversee.
Although the bill is nearing finalization, it won't be official until the legislature passes it in a special session.
I would beg and plead that the lawmakers would stop.
And we still do not know when that special session will be to finish the budget. Governor Walz said this afternoon that he's hopeful they could potentially have one by the end of this week. There's another deadline coming up, which is Monday. If the budget's not done by then, the state will be obligated to send about 28,000 layoff notices to state employees warning of a potential government shutdown. So once again, the clock is ticking here at the Capitol. Back to you.
Continues to tick. All right, Danny, thank you.